Welcome to A Lunch with Biggie, a podcast about small business and creatives sharing their stories and inspiring you. My guest today is part of 3 generations of pizza makers who believe in the fundamentals of what makes a great pizza, with a sauce recipe straight from Sicily, and sharing the knowledge that it's not about the water. Please welcome the owner of Dough Boyz Pizza, Mario. What's going on, Mario?
How you doing, man? Thank you for having me.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on and having a lunch break with me. I appreciate it. I always like to ask the question, but for you, it's going to be because you own a restaurant. It's going to be 2 parts.
Okay.
So the question is, what's your go-to lunch or sandwich? However, I want you to be able to give me, like, if someone were to come to Doughboys, what's the go-to lunch or sandwich or lunch at Doughboys? And then what is it that when you're not at Doughboys, what is it that you actually eat?
Ha. Okay, so my go-to lunch at Doughboys is usually a cheese slice or a grandma slice. It's funny because everything that I love, like all the stuff that I love, is what the customers love too. So like the grandma is the most popular slice, and it's my favorite slice of pizza. But I'm like a plain cheese kind of guy, and then the grandma with the margarita and the pesto that's got real good flavor. So those two are my favorite lunches. And then for a sandwich, um, the chicken parm, we use a kosher chicken, believe it or not, because
Okay.
it's a better quality chicken. And I think the chickens are free range and they're not like on a farm and in cages and stuff. So the chicken comes better. Like we've done cross analysis of both, like the regular chicken that we get and then this new kosher chicken. So we started using a new chicken. It's so tender, it comes out so good. So the chicken parm was good before. Now it's even better because of the higher quality chicken that we're using. So chicken parm is always good.
Okay.
It's always good. And then wait, when I'm not at
Yeah.
Doughboys,
Yeah.
I'm a steak and potatoes type of guy. I could have a steak, a cheeseburger, any beef and potatoes. That's my go-to.
Okay. Chop. Do you? Yeah. What about chopped cheese? You like a chopped cheese?
Of course, it's like a standard New York
Yeah.
corner deli
Well, I was
thing,
gonna
you
ask,
know?
and I was gonna ask, since you are you're originally from New York, like because like the chopped cheese like kind of has been hitting now probably in the last like what 5 to 10 years maybe.
Yeah.
They may have done a version of it, but it became more popular. Like, what are your thoughts on it? Do you claim it as the New York sandwich, or is it kind of like it's okay, but it's not the New York sandwich?
Nah, it's not my favorite
Okay.
thing, you know. I've had a chopped cheese. It's really just I think beef and cheese
Yeah,
chopped up
like a
like a
burger.
yeah, it's like a chopped up cheeseburger. It's
Yeah.
good. It's not bad. I like it, but it's not. I wouldn't consider that the like staple New York. I think the staple New York sandwich is the bacon, egg, and cheese.
Mhm.
That's it. That's like
Yeah. I can
so
see
good
that.
on the
That or
Kaiser
pastrami
roll.
on rye. Yeah, those are the
Well,
ones I
yeah,
kind
okay.
of look
See,
at. Yeah, yeah. Those are
yeah,
the two I
Cat's
think.
Deli. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
something like
course.
that.
Yeah,
All right.
pastrami and rye.
So let's talk about Doughboys.
All right.
Tell people the story of how you guys came to be, because I think it's very interesting, like the fact of like of where you were at and all of that. So like, and obviously there's like a lunch break. So I want you to be able to kind of share a version of it of how you ended up in Oviedo opening up Doughboys Pizza.
Okay, all right. Long story short, because it's a very long
Yeah.
story, but it all ties in together. But me and my best friend, we've been best friends since high school. Um, he he's from Trenton, but he spent a lot of his childhood here in Lake Mary. Uh, he grew up around here and then he went to Jersey. He moved to Jersey with his dad for high school. I moved from Staten Island to New Jersey like midway through high school, and we met and we were like the outsiders. You know, these kids in high school, they all grow up
Yeah.
together and
Yeah.
we didn't know anybody. So we were the new kids. So we kind of just, linked up and all, we were attached to each other's hip for years. And my dad always had a pizzeria, so it was like that's all we ate was leftover pizza in my dad's fridge. Late nights after bonfire party, a house party, we're coming home to chicken rolls and slices of gourmet pizza in the fridge and heating them up. So he grew up on the food, so he knew what it was. He knew how good it was. And when he moved here a few years ago, 3, 4 years ago maybe, he always would tell me, man, there's no pizza, there's no good pizza down here, bro. We would kill it if we opened up like a pizzeria down here. And I was in a union. I was in the New York City Elevators Union. So
Okay.
I had a good job. Six-figure salary, full benefits, nights and weekends off, holidays off, sick time, pay time. I had it all. Annuities, 401k. And I didn't want to walk away. But COVID hits New York, and it hit New York pretty hard. And a lot of things fell apart, and I got laid off. So I was laid off for about 2 years. I went back to work and then got laid off again another 6 months later. So he was sending me places throughout COVID, and I was saying, no, no, I'm going back to work. I don't want to do it. I want to stick to my 9 to 5. I want to play it safe. And then I kind of just got backed into a corner. I got laid off for a second time. He sent me this place. I flew down a week later. It was the only place we looked at. We did not look at any other restaurant, pizzeria. We did not even consider. We only looked at this place, and we made the decision the same day we looked at it. And we just said, all right, let's give it a shot. Let's do it.
That's awesome. And how did you guys come up with the name Doughboys?
I I thought I was having like a super clever moment. Like I was like the most clever guy in the world. I'm like, oh, you know what? We'll call ourselves Dope Boys, because we used to be dope boys, kind of like, dancing, hip
Yeah.
hop, baggy clothes. So I was like, we'll just call ourselves the Dope Boys. And I thought it was so clever. And then when I started Googling it, I realized that there's Dope Boys all over the country. So we just live by that whole thing. Like, it's not who did it first, it's who did it right. And we're just trying to do it the right way. Not a knock to any of the other Dope Boys out there. I'm sure they
Yeah.
got fantastic food and pizza. We just love the name. It fits us. It's cool. It's hip. The people love it, and I knew it was gonna get a response because it was a cool like brand.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Okay, so you and your family have been serving pizzas and Italian food since 1968. So I want to talk pizza now. I want to talk about what are the fundamentals to a good slice of pizza.
Okay, you need a good slice of pizza is thin, crispy, light. You don't want a heavy, floppy, sloppy pizza. You want people to get the sauce and the cheese, but you don't want it to be an overwhelming. Like I notice a lot of Florida places, it's very heavy-handed. It's heavy cheese, it's heavy sauce, it's heavy every even when they start putting toppings on, it's just heavy, it's very messy. So to me it's thin, it's crispy, it's light. You get the sauce, you get the cheese, but it's not like too much to eat, you know?
Yeah.
That's a good slice of pizza for me.
All right. I like that. I like that. And I know and I know one of the things that I brought up in the intro and you say it often. And well before I even bring that up, I've seen videos where you've talked about that where you're like, "Hey, you don't have to put so much sauce on the pizza. Like it's like a nice thing of sauce." And obviously I appreciate because when I have eaten your chicken parm sandwich and it's delicious, the garlic not chicken parm sandwich, and that's actually how I met you, and we'll kind of go into that. But one of the things that you brought up was about like your sauce, how you do a different sauce for the pizza, and there's like a family recipe that you guys kind of do, and you even brought like you even hand I believe you kind of hand strain it. Is that correct? Like you do
Yes.
like a hand mix type machine to strain the sauce, and it's a different sauce than what you use for your pasta.
Yes. Yeah. So the margarita sauce is a plum tomato, and we grind it through a food mill. So what that does is it separates the skin and the stem, the vein that's inside the tomato, because that's the bitter part of the
Yep.
tomato. So we use only the good parts of the tomato for the margarita sauce, and even for our kitchen sauce, same thing with the plum tomato. We just run that through an electric one, so it's much faster process. But
Yeah.
I have the manual hand one that I
Yeah.
grew up using as a kid, and the one I have here is actually my grandfather's that he
Yeah.
had in his pizzeria back in Brooklyn in the '60s. So I still have the same food mill that he was using, and then I have the electric one for like the big pots of sauce because we make a lot of sauce here.
Yeah, I bet. I bet. So I brought it up in the intro and I want to kind of talk about it because, and I've heard it obviously. I'm originally from New Jersey, But I'll be honest with you, like I wouldn't be able to tell you. I've been in Florida now longer than I've been than I was my time in Jersey. So, but I will say that I've always have heard that, which is a line that you kind of say it's not the water. So I want to know. I want you to be able to explain to anyone who's listening, especially if they're from up north, because I have some friends from up north that listen to the podcast.
All right.
Why is it not the water? Like, explain that, why you guys stand on that.
Because, okay, one, it's not the water. That we started saying that because the people that were first starting to come in here when we first opened, the pizza's very good, and they were telling us like, "Wow, I thought you couldn't make good pizza in Florida because of the water." And that turned into us saying, well, it's not the water. And then all of a sudden we coined it and it became our slogan. And it's not the water really, because listen, if it was the water, every pizzeria in New York City would have fantastic, phenomenal pizza. I lived in New York my entire life until 1 year ago. Not every pizzeria in New York's got good pizza. So, is it the water? No, it's not the water because they're all using the same water from the sink, right? No,
Mhm.
it's the ingredients you use. It's, your cook time, your cook temperature, how you do your dough, the cheese. You gotta have a good quality cheese. It's the guy making it. There's so many different variables to a good pizza that the water is just like a small part of that. It's important. Is the water different in Florida? Yes, it's different, but it's not dramatic enough to, if you have a good pizza in New York and you come to Florida, you're gonna have a good pizza here too. And I probably shouldn't say that because now the guys up there that got good pizza are gonna start thinking they can come down here.
Mm.
So maybe it is the water. Maybe it is the water. Don't come. The water sucks.
The water's horrible. Don't come here. No, I love that, man. I love that. I love that. I do think that, and like you've kind of said it, I think it's obviously the ingredients, the quality of the product, are all massive things. Did you have, I'm always kind of curious about this because obviously we're very humid in Florida. And I will say making dough is like a science. Did you have a little bit of a learning curve from when you were like, from like the humidity of, difference between New York to Florida, making pizza and the dough and like and testing it out when you were doing it?
No. So I'll tell you why. No, it wasn't. I didn't change not one single thing
Okay.
about this dough recipe. So I worked at a place down at the Jersey Shore in Lavalette, and it's a good friend of mine. He's a big part of my, my knowledge of the business. He's a mentor of mine, and he's a great friend of mine. His name is Manny, and he owns this place called The Oven down at the Jersey Shore. It's right in Lavalette, and this place is a zillion degrees in the summertime. The hottest pizzeria I've ever had to work in my life. And we would make 3, 4 batches of dough over there. And the process was you leave it out for a little bit, let it proof, and then you put it right away because the humidity is going to keep it blowing up no matter how cold or how fast you get it into the cooler. So, because of that process, how I learned how to do the dough hit that way with the proofing process, I just applied that same process to here because that place was hot. It was summer times in at the Jersey Shore. It's hot. The walk-in box over there is also used as like a secondary fridge. So if you have a walk-in box where you're storing dough and people are in and out of it all day long, like a lot, it never gets to temperature. So the dough is going to continue to blow up while it's in there. So because of that knowledge, I was able to just apply that same way I did it there to how I do it here. And it's the same. I was a little nervous. I'm going to tell you, when we
Yeah.
first opened, you always have second thoughts, bro. I walked away from a career and a whole life. My whole life got turned upside down. I walked away. And when I got here, I was having all these second thoughts. Oh my God, did I make a mistake? What if the pizza's not good? What if it is the water? What if the water sucks and I can't make a good pizza? And that first day, when I made that first pie, I knew it was over. I was like, oh, this is good. It's nothing different about this. It's gonna be good. People are gonna love this. And I knew it. We knew it right away. We didn't know how fast it was gonna become like this, but we knew right away we had good pizza.
Yeah, no. what do you think has been your hardest transition since you haven't been like you basically have I mean, how long have you now been in how you guys have been in business since when? And how
Last
in
October.
last October. So basically since last October you've been living in Florida. What's been the hardest transition from New York to coming to live in Florida for especially when it comes to the pizza business?
Um, the heat. Not really. It doesn't bother me that much because I'm in the pizzeria. But that's
Yeah.
really my only difference for me. Because I'm in the pizzeria anyways. If I was up in New York, I would be in a pizzeria. So I'm most of my time is spent. The only difference is all good differences. Like it's my pizzeria. I'm an owner now. I'm not working for somebody. I get to spend more time with my kids because I have a staff working for me that I trust. Some of the harder adjustments was employees, like finding good people to like
Yeah.
good hustlers because I know there's hustlers down here, but I have not seen that many like people coming in for jobs and stuff. Nobody wants to work. And it's like, and then they want to work because they want to get paid, but then it's time to do the actual work. And people drag feet. There's a little less of like an urgency down here for people to like get it. There's low energy, I feel like a little bit lower
Yeah.
energy, but there are people with the high energy. I found some of them.
Yeah.
So I got them now. But that was a little bit of in the beginning. I'm like, what the hell? What's wrong with this guy?
What about what about in the like I'm kind of curious because now that you're in the area and you're driving around and stuff like that, there's tons of pizzerias. So I mean, obviously, like that's kind of the big difference I think from up north is the fact that like if your pizzeria sucks, like you pretty much you may not make it compared to others because there's so many good pizza places. So
Yeah.
now in here in Central Florida, I mean, there's a lot of pizza places. I mean, anywhere you go, there's a plaza that has sells. Someone's got to sell pizza next to your house, the neighborhood pizza place. How what is the difference or what's been, what do you think has been obviously your recipe for success, but what do you think has been the hardest transition with that because you're now trying to market against them and compete against those local pizza places because now people either have to drive a little bit further away to come get your pizza and things like that.
So I will say that there's less pizzerias here than in New York. Like I would have
Okay.
never done this. I would have never done this in Staten Island. Never. It's too many good options. It's hard to break through that ceiling. Pizza's a big thing up there. So I will say that having a good product and customer service, like I make sure that my staff greets everyone that walks through that door and says goodbye to everyone that walks out. That's our thing. The hospitality has got to be there. Customer service is A plus plus plus. I don't let that slide at all. I don't care if there's a trouble, customer causing trouble. I don't care. I'm kissing their ass from here to New York. I don't care. That's what I do because I'm trying to serve you a good slice of pizza. So if there's an issue, I want to fix it. So that that's number one. As far as like, it was a little hard in the beginning because people have their local favorites, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people that are like, oh, these people are really from New York too, and they have good pizza too. Like the place that's been here already, maybe a couple miles away. I don't know, but it was hard to like get people to give up what they were used to now mm, come over to the light side. Like come join the team.
Yeah.
But it happened. That was probably the hardest thing, getting because people are skeptical. Every pizzeria says they're New York pizza. Every single one, New York style pizza. We import the water. We do this. We do that. What? So when another New York style pizza opens up, people are like, oh great, another guy bullshitting us. So that's real. That was a lot of the stuff. Like people would walk in, they would
Yeah.
say, I'm from New York. I'm gonna tell you. I'm like, all right, no problem. But I didn't put New York style nothing nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not on my window, my menu. The only thing I say about New York is that we've been proudly serving pizza in New York, New Jersey, and Florida since 1960. That's the only New York word on anything. That's it. I don't say it because I want the people to try it and then they tell me. And they have been. They've been telling me. This is it. This is the closest thing. I haven't had pizza this good since whenever they left New York. So
Yeah, I do. It's
yeah.
it's awesome, dude. I'm super excited and super proud of you guys. I heard about you. just like everyone else probably, I feel like through Genesis of beer cutie and foodie, and she blew you guys up. Like, I mean, she literally blew you guys up. I want to talk a little bit about that, and then about that experience, so that way you can kind of we can give her some love and throw her and give her flowers and her due. But I also want to talk about how because of that, you've kind of had to constantly keep the consistency on social media and things like that. And I want to talk a little bit about that because that's like, that's kind of tough to do when you're trying to run a business and also do social media and do all those things. So I kind of want to talk about both those things, about her and that whole aspect of it, but then also about the everything that comes to the fact that now, like, okay, now I got this wave, I got to keep riding it and I got to keep
Yeah.
feeding the machine.
Yep. So, okay. First of all, Genesis, we love her. She changed my life. She turned this place from just a little bit busy and like having a little bit of buzz to extremely busy. And I, I'm forever indebted to her. She's a beautiful human being. Her and Michael, the
Yeah,
both of
no,
them.
I love them both. Yes.
Love them both. They're awesome people. They always take up for us, in comments. They're always bigging us up and shouting us out. I will never have it. We owe them. We owe them. So
Okay.
that being said, we did have to when she came in. It was like a perfect storm because she came in, but we were ready. Like I was in the we didn't know how busy it was going to get right away, so I had to hire some more people to be able to contain the business because it was just chaos. But we were ready. Like the product was good. The customer service was there. Um, I was manning the pizza station myself, so I was making all the pizza. Every pizza that was going out the door, I was putting my name on it. I
Yeah.
wanted it to be perfect. So because of that, determination, that drive to put everything out the right way, that's what kept the people coming back. So I knew that that was our opportunity. I knew it. I said it. I'd be screaming in the walk-in box at mistakes. I lost the barbers used to ask me what the heck I was doing in the back because they would hear the banging on the wall. They're like, "What are you killing somebody back there?" Because I would get crazy. Every mistake was a big mistake to me because that was a customer that we could lose. And I didn't want to lose it because I knew this was our shot and this was our opportunity.
Yeah.
This wasn't going to happen again. So I knew that we needed to make this needed to go the right way, and it did. Thank God, everything went good, and we stayed busy, and everything's been good. God bless. The consistency is there. I got great staff, So that part, thank God, everything worked out. But when it comes to like staying consistent on social media, now I have to like keep up. So I found a nice little pocket that works for me, and so that I don't have to constantly create content. I still create my own content,
Yeah.
but what I do is I now invite influencers to come in, make your video. I'm gonna host you. You're not gonna have to pay for nothing. Come in, do a video, try the food, tell your people about us, and then that also helps me stay in front of people because I have an influencer coming in creating the content for me, and then I'm able to like relax and focus on the business and not have to be so focused on social media because I have that help, like a partnership with
Yeah.
the influencers and the content creators that come in here. So it helps me keep the social media up, and then I'm always throwing, boosted ads on Instagram and Facebook, and we're about to shoot a commercial and run a campaign on YouTube.
Awesome.
We do the menus, the mailers, that keeps us going. But yeah, having content creators come in is a major plus for any business. It's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, because they all need content. And
Right.
speaking of which, one of my friends, Chantal from Let's Try This Orlando, she loved your pizza, but she actually she actually made me want to now have to go by and visit because she was raving about your cheesesteak. She says I need to go have that, is what she was posting. And I was like, oh, I'm like, I didn't think to order the cheesesteak. I mean, I've already had a bunch of your food, but I have never had a cheesesteak from you. So I will be next time I come, I'll get some pizza and a cheesesteak so I can enjoy it.
Yeah, so the cheesesteak, we spent a lot of nights in Philly because, like I said, in high school, I moved from New York to,
Yeah.
to Jersey. So a lot of our late nights when you're in Central Jersey, it's like, all right, what do you want to do? You want to go to Philly? Or you want to go to New York for the night? So a lot of times we would go to Philly, especially during Halloween with the haunted, the prison, the state prison over there. They do the haunted thing, and we would go there and we would have cheesesteaks all the time. So, and my buddy, my partner, being from Trenton, New Jersey, we were always in Philly, so getting cheesesteaks, having a good cheesesteak was important to us because we knew what a good cheesesteak was. So, you know, a lot of places they chop up the meat on the grill, whatever, if you put your peppers and onions, and then they put it on the sandwich, they put the cheese on it, and then they toast it. We don't do that. In Philly, they say with or without,
Yeah,
right? You want the whiz or you don't want the whiz. So we chop the cheese into the cheesesteak. Like it's all blended together. So I think it's just for better flavor with the
yeah,
cheese when it's chopped into each piece of meat. It's something like a chopped cheese, just with
yeah,
cheesesteak instead of
yeah.
chopped meat.
No, man, it's delicious. I'm looking forward to trying it. It's on my
Yeah.
list. I want to ask you because I had a conversation with Amy Drew from the Orlando Sentinel, and we were talking about when she orders pizza and takes it home, she does not just open the box. I mean, occasionally she may grab a slice, like a road slice while she's driving or whatever. But when she goes home, she will take it out of the box and put it back in the oven because it obviously loses some of that crispiness and all that. So I wanted to ask an expert because she puts it in the oven and does all that. And so I kind of wanted to ask you, like, do you have a technique? Like if someone orders some Doughboy's pizza and they want to have it, like if you're not going to eat it straight out of the oven and into your mouth, and they're going to bring it home, what would be your advice for someone, like if, and even if they were to go pick up from like another pizza place somewhere else, but like what do you recommend or what would you do with that pizza coming from the box into your house? Do you put it in the oven? What reheating? Tell me a little bit about what you recommend.
All right. Reheating a slice like that's gotten cold and a little bit dry, I would put in the air fryer. I've put slices in the air fryer at
Okay.
home. It comes out good. It comes out crunchy again. Or even just the oven. You turn the oven up to 500 degrees and you let that thing get a little crispy, and you should be fine. To fix that, it's the humidity. Once you put a pizza in a box and then
Yep.
it sits on
Everything.
top of yeah, it's just it traps the humidity, and once the humidity is trapped, it's hard to keep that pizza crispy. I don't care where you get the pizza from. I've eaten pizza all over the place in New York, and it's the same thing. You put the pizza in a box and it sits in a box for 30, 40 minutes. It's bound to happen. The best way is to come in, order your pizza on the spot, gets made, you watch it get put in the box and cut up, and then you take the box of pizza. I would crack it. Open the box of pizza. Don't trap the heat in there. When you put it in your car, open the pizza box so
Okay.
that the heat's not staying trapped inside, and try that. And then when you get home, if it's a little cooled off, you throw it in the air fryer or the oven, the regular oven.
I like that.
I know
I'm gonna
some
try
people
that.
have said frying pan.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
do a
tried
cast
it
iron.
though.
I've done a cast iron. I've reheated old, like day old, like the next day pizza. I'll do that. Of course, I will always recommend if you're gonna do it, since you guys sell pizza by the slice, you what you do is you get a slice to eat either while you're waiting or while you're like a road slice before,
Yeah.
and then that way when you get home, you're like, oh look, I got pizza, but you already had some pizza in you, so you already know because you got it fresh.
Right, right.
That's my recommendation. That's like a biggie tip right there. Go get a road slice, especially if you want to try something different because you guys have a buffalo chicken slice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's legit. I may have had a one or two of those in my when I've come visit and I go pick up food. So I definitely get that.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome.
Mario, what I'm just kind of like curious on like what do you think what have you learned or what like I know your dad just moved from New York and here and you've had now your three generations, like what are some aspects of it that makes I guess the two things would be one, what is it that you've learned from your dad, because I'm pretty sure your dad's in your ear telling you like things that he's gone through, like is it similar? Has he even told you like there's similar issues that you still deal with, even from like in the like late 60s, 70s to now? what are some things that you think you've kind of seen or realized, or he's even kind of told you? Because I know how it is, how parents are. They get into your ear and they want to help you run the business because they love
Yeah,
you. But that's got
yeah,
to be a tough one too.
yeah. Sure. I mean, my father likes to say, "I forgot what you still got to learn." He says, he likes to tell me. He likes to tell me that one. But it's been fun, man. My dad taught me everything I know. His father taught him everything he knows. So it's just generational. There's a sense of pride and legacy in that. I'm very proud to be able to take my grandfather's American dream and turn it into what, Doughboys is today. So my dad's real proud of me, and and him being here helping, he does a lot of the specialty items. I don't tell him how to do nothing except pizza. That's it. Everything else we could argue, but when it comes to pizza, I feel like I've got that pretty much in the bag. We even joke sometimes like, you can't hang no more, man. Like a Friday night in the pizza station, but it's all fun and games. It's
Yeah,
all love. Yeah. He's he's proud of me. We don't really. There's no like, he doesn't try to like give me his how to do the business and stuff, because I got a really good partner. We're the perfect storm. It's the perfect combination. He's all business. He's all numbers. He's all keeps all of that stuff in line, and I'm all operations, the cooking, making sure the quality's there. So it's a perfect combination. My dad is a bystander. He's here just gleaming away at how good everything's going, and he, makes his rice balls, and he makes his sandwiches on his focaccia breads, and he does all the specialty stuff, and he likes doing that. He's cool with that.
I love that, man. I love that. I got two more questions for you, and then we're done because I know you're a busy man. And dinner, it's almost dinner time, even though it's a lunch break for me. What advice do you have for someone wanting to start something?
Like start a pizzeria.
Well, no, start anything in general. You can take it as what you want, but yeah, like if someone were to say, "Hey, I want Mario, I want to start something," whatever it is, what advice do you have for them?
Be passionate. Whatever it is you gotta have passion, because you can't be halfway. You gotta really love it, because once you love it, you become obsessed, and once you become obsessed, there is no failure. You gotta really love it. It's gotta take everything. You gotta really want it. You can't just kind of want it or kind of work for it. You get what you give. So if you don't want it and you're not passionate about it, it's never gonna work. So make sure that you're passionate, and make sure that that's something that you really want to do.
I love that, dude.
Whatever it is, pizza, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, man. Well said, man. Well said. Where can people follow you? Where can people come and eat some Doughboys pizza? What do you and obviously the Zeppelis. Don't forget the Zeppelis for dessert. But where can people go and enjoy your food and follow you on social and all of that?
All right, you can follow us on Instagram. It's Doughboys Pizza FL, and we're in Oviedo, 3635 Aloma Avenue. Um, and it's funny, the Zeppelis, people from Rhode Island call Zeppelis Doughboys.
Oh, really?
That's why we started calling them Doughboys on the menu, because the people from like a little further up,
Yeah.
they call them Doughboys. So so we're like, oh, that's cool, because we're the only place that really does them around here. So now we have the Doughboys. We call them the Doughboys. So that was a little sidebar. But yeah, man, I'm out
I
here in
love it.
Oviedo. We're looking for second locations now. Let us know where you'd like to see a second location. We were thinking Lake Mary or somewhere closer to Orlando, but we'll see. We'll
No,
see.
man. I think it's a good spot. You're right off of 417 in Aloma area, so it's like it's you can definitely jump in and jump off quick from there, which I think is a great spot to be able to do. And you got a little bit of everything. So no, man, I think it's great. I really appreciate it. I know we've been I found out about you because obviously, through Genesis, I got to eat your food, and then once I ate your food, I actually did a video with Mo DeWitt. We did a chicken parm thing because I told him, I said, "Oh my God," I'm like, "I had like the best, some awesome chicken parm." I'm like, "I need you to come." eat it with me. And so we went and did that. We got to eat your chicken parm meal. We got to eat the chicken parm, your basically your garlic knot sandwich, which is awesome. And it's super, it's just great. And your pizza's fantastic. I brought my wife there. We've eaten a few times there at Dough Boyz, and I just thought your story was great, man. I really wanted people to kind of, I figure if I can give another outlet or another way for people to hear about you and hear your story, maybe they can come by, especially if they're craving some New York style pizza, or just, good pizza. Just come,
Yeah.
if you love pizza, like, I don't think I've ever heard of anyone tell me that even bad pizza is good. But if you can eat good pizza all the time, why wouldn't you?
Right. Listen, I've had some nights where I'm, getting a pizza from 7-Eleven before I had Doughboys.
Yeah.
I'm not, pizza is pizza, but good pizza, I'll go for good pizza.
No, man, I got you on that. I totally agree with you. And I love the fact that you told when you were in the beginning, and that's why I didn't ask you, because like the way I usually kind of go when I go to a pizza place or an Italian restaurant, like my two things are literally, I go for a cheese slice. If you can't do a cheese slice, then forget you. And then
Hmm.
I do the chicken parm. Like those are really literally my two favorite things to get. So that's what
Yeah.
I get. So so the fact that you guys hit it out of the park with both of those, I think it's great, and I'm super excited for your success and
Thank you.
continued, man. So definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, man. And I appreciate you. You coming in, being a customer,
Yeah,
being a friend, bringing people in, spreading the word. That's all appreciated. And that's love, man. I love all you guys. You guys have been great for me, been great to me, for me. It's been a blessing to have everybody come in and just talk so highly of it, man. I'm very proud. I'm very
awesome.
proud.
As you should be, man. As you should be. Well, that's our show
Thank
for
you.
today. Thank you to Mario from Dough Boyz Pizza for being on and having lunch with me. Definitely make sure to check them out. If you're craving some pizza, I definitely recommend visiting them. Get a slice, get a sandwich. Just sample a little bit of a menu. They have definitely great food for you to be able to check out. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to tell your friends. If you want to check out my brand, check out Deli Fresh Threads. And thank you. Until next time, keep eating sandwiches and follow your passion.